Mashyach, I'm back. Still having some trouble. Let's see. Okay, still having getting some messages of dropped frames, but nonetheless, we're gonna try to get back to where we were. This is the last time we were on. We had some the same issue. Restarted my computer and was able to get back in this time around, and so hopefully we'll be able to continue, without further interruption. Okay, so let me just see if I can get a Facebook monitor Facebook here. Bear with me just for a second. We haven't been having this trouble with Zoom, really, but it seemed as if this on this particular subject, the adversaries certainly don't seem to want it to go out, so computer is responding slowly. Okay. All right. So okay, we're going to try to get back to where we were. Okay? We're going to try to get back to where we were. Remind me later. It's telling me that my computer it needs an important update, and so I don't know, maybe that's a part of the issue. All right, but we're going to try to get back. So family, before the broadcast was interrupted, once again I want to welcome each and every one of you back to the family joining us via Facebook Live, via Zoom live here in the room, and via YouTube Live. Want to welcome you back, Mashyach. Also want to apologize for the interruption. Yes, Akuda Nitra. They're jigging the wires. Yeah, so I'm going to we're going to pick up from where we left off, but I was addressing the question of the contract and what changed, and as I was saying before we were interrupted, that the prophecy of a change in the contract, it actually, it's been in place from the very beginning. Yahuah speaks of the contract changing, of a change coming to the contract, because after all, it was not an afterthought, you see, but Yahuah in his foreknowledge knew how we would be and what we would do, and so he spoke of that change that would take place. Okay, so there are many prophecies concerning the change, concerning what would happen. There are many prophecies, but when the change actually came, when the change took place, that was marked by Yahuwah's sacrifice. Okay, that was marked by Yahuah coming to redeem his people. Now they'll try to say that the only coming we know of is the coming of Jesus, and then so you would say, well, okay, well, what you're saying then is that what we read about Yahuwah's coming was made up because they say Jesus, and that was because they talk about Jesus coming. We know that's a total fabrication. Well, if that's your reasoning, then all of the scriptures is a total fabrication, because nowhere in the text that we read in English do you find Yahuah. You do not find the name Yahuah anywhere, right? In the text that in the English text that we have. And the English text that we have is how we is what brought us to the knowledge of our creator, of our history and whatever else. So if the writings, if you're going to say that because the writings speak of Jesus, then everything that it says is totally false, then everything else is false, because the writings does not speak of Yahuwah. Who does the writing speak of? The writings speak of God and the Lord and Jehovah and all this other stuff. The writings that we have, the English writings, none of it speak of Yahuwah. So how did we come to discover Yahuwah? By searching and studying and going beyond the writings. In the same way, Yahusha is declared. So what they did was they hijacked our Mashyach, so to speak, right? So they replaced the name of Hamashiach with the name of an idol, Jesus, just like they replaced the name of Yahuwah with the name of an idol, God, Baal, the Lord, and so on. You see, so when people are looking for an excuse to believe what they want to believe, they can come up with all kinds of excuses, but their excuses really lack reasoning. Okay? So there are many scriptures. Shalom and welcome back, Akut. There are many scriptures that foretells of Yahuwah being our redeeming sacrifice. The very Passover speaks of Yahuwah being our redeeming sacrifice. You see, it's a prophetic picture of what Yahuwah would do to redeem his people. You see, so the scriptures is really clear concerning what is. Now, when people want a reason to believe otherwise, they can easily convince themselves. But, you know, part of my goal is not to try to convince an unbeliever. That's not my job, you see. It is Yahuwah determines whether an unbeliever is going to become a believer. You see. That's really not my job. So if they choose to believe foolishness, then hey, I'm not here to beat you down and try to persuade you otherwise. You go on and believe what you want to believe. I'm going to believe what's written. You see, and that's really the bottom line. That's what it comes down to. Because when a person have made up their mind to believe nonsense, there's nothing that you're going to tell them that's going to change it. You see, and so at the end of the day, I'm not here to waste time on somebody who want to believe what they want to believe. That's really not what I'm here for. Yahuwah says that those who have an ear to hear, they will hear. You see, and so my job is simply to put the word out, and those who have ears to hear will hear. Those who don't hear are those who don't have ears to hear or eyes to see. You see, and so at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to. I'm really not so concerned with trying to persuade a people who are bent on persuading themselves. That's really what it comes down to, you see. But our job is to continue to seek the truth. You see, that's really our job, to continue to seek out the truth. All right. Now, let's go to the book of Zakaryahu. We're going back now to the book of Zakaryahu, and as we start out here in the book of Zakaryahu, one of the things that we're going to see is we're starting off dealing with one of Yahuwah's attribute, right? And we have to pay attention as to why this attribute is being emphasized so much, because it has everything to do with where we are today. Okay, it has everything to do with where we are today. Let me just pull this back up, pull the scriptures up. So I started to say that in the book of Zakaryahu, at the beginning of the book, Yahuah takes some time to explain to his people why they are where they are. Okay, so that's what we're about to see. And as he explains to his people why they are where they are, he speaks from the perspective of one particular attribute of his, and that is Yahuah Zabaut, or Yahu Zabaut. Okay, so pay close attention to that, family. There's a reason for that. It's a very important reason why that is. Okay, so he speaks from the perspective of Yahu Zabaut, which is his warring attribute. His warring attribute. Now, it's important for us to note that Yahuah goes to war against his people, as well as he goes to war for his people. Okay? There are times when Yahuah goes to war against his people, and there are times when he goes to war for his people. Okay? And so you're going to see him speaking from the perspective of his warring attribute. Okay? As we begin here in the book of Zakaryahu. And he's going to begin from the perspective of going to war against his people and explaining why he went to war against his people. And as he went to war against his people, we're going to see in the book of Zakaryahu chapter 1 what transpired as he went to war against his people. Okay? But then he's going to transition. And he's going to begin to talk about going to war for his people. Okay? And so when Yahuah goes to war, his warring attribute, Yahu Zabaut, it is he who goes to fight. Okay? So let's go here to Zakaryahu, again chapter 1. In the 8th month of the 2nd year of Dariush is the name, the word of Yahuah came to Zakaryahu, who was the son of Barakyahu, who was the son of Adu the prophet, saying, Yahuah was very angry with your fathers. Okay? So Yahuah is explaining to the prophet Zakaryahu that there came a time in Yasharal's history where he had gotten quite angry with our forefathers, with our ancestors. Okay? And so in verse 3 it says, and you shall say to them, this says Yahuah Zabaut, turn back to me. Okay, this is the warring attribute of Yahuah speaking. Okay, and you shall say to your fathers, say to your people, he's speaking to the prophet, this says Yahu Zabaut, turn back to me, declares Yahu Zabaut, and I shall turn back to you, declares Yahu Zabaut, or Yahuah Zabaut. Okay, notice, yes, Aki?
Sorry for the interruption. We don't see the scripture.
Okay, Tuda Aki, Tuda, my bad. Let me get that on the screen. Tuda Rabbah. And let me also make sure that it's on YouTube. I'm so sorry about that, family. Okay. All right. So notice in verse 3 how many times reference is made to the warring attribute of Yahuah. Now, in translation, it says Yahuah of hosts. but literally what it means is Yahuah Zabaoth. What it's saying is Yahuah Zabaoth. Okay? Yahuah, leader of his army. Okay? Commander of his army. Okay? Now, so this says, something just popped up on my screen. I hope we're not interrupted. Let me just check. All right. We seem to be okay. Hope we are okay. All right. All right. So you'll notice how many times reference is made to his warring attribute. Here we see 1, 2, 3. In verse 3, 3 times reference is made to his warring attribute, but that's not the end. So in verse 3 it says, and you shall say to them, so speak to your fathers, say to them, thus says Yahuah Zabaoth, turn back to me, declares Yahuah Zabaoth, and I shall turn back to you, declares Yahuah Zabaoth. Do not be like your fathers, to whom the former prophets proclaimed, saying, this says Yahuah Zabaoth, turn back now from your evil ways and your evil deeds. But they did not obey or give heed to me, declares Yahuah. Your fathers. So you see, when Yahuah became angry with his people, and he sent his prophet to speak, he says, speak in the name of my warring attribute. Okay, speak in the name of my warring attribute. And that's why he says in verse 4, do not be like your fathers, to whom the former prophets proclaimed, saying, thus says Yahuah Zabaoth, thus says Yahuah Zabaoth, thus says the Yahuah of war, turn back now from your evil ways and your deeds, evil deeds. This is a warning. If you do not turn back now, I'm going to go to war against you. But they did not obey or give heed to me, declares Yahuah. A bold people. Your fathers, where are they? And the prophets, do they live forever? But my words and my Torah, which I commanded my servants the prophets, did they not overtake your fathers? Did they not outlive your fathers? My words. Yahuah is saying that his word stands for all times. Okay? His word lives forever. His word applies forever. Did they not overtake your fathers? Then they turned back and said, as Yahuah Zabaoth planned to do to us, according to our ways and according to our deeds, so he has done with us. So the people did not listen, and so Yahuah went to war against his people. The people did not listen, so Yahuah went to war against his people. This is from Zakaryahu chapter 1, an introduction. This is Yahuah explaining to his people why they're in the situation that they're in, why we're in the condition that we're in, why they were in that time period, why they were in the condition that they were in, and it's also an explanation to us as to why we are in the condition that we're in. Verse 7 says, on the 24th day of the 11th month, which is the month Shabbat, in the 2nd year of Dariush, the word of Yahuah came to Zakaryahu, the son of Barakyahu, who was the son of Adu the prophet, saying, I looked at night and saw a man riding on a red horse. Now, the red horse is a symbol of judgment. And he was standing among the myrtle trees in the shade. The myrtle is also always associated with judgment and war. And behind him were horses, red, sorrel, which is another rich red, and white. Okay? So red, symbol of judgment, bloodshed. White, redemption. Okay? And I said, my master, what are these? And the messenger who was speaking to me said to me, let me show you what they are. And the man who stood among the myrtle trees answered and said, they are the ones Yahuah has sent to go throughout the earth, to go throughout Arats. And they answered the messenger of Yahuah, who stood among the myrtle trees, and said, We have gone throughout the earth, and see all the earth is at peace and rest. And the messenger of Yahuah answered and said, O Yahuah Zabaoth, how long would you have no compassion on Jerusalem and on the cities of Yehudah, against which you were enraged these 70 years? Okay, these 70 years. So what is the context here again? The context here is of the Babylonian captivity. Okay, that's the context, but in as much as it applied to that time, it has application to us today. Okay, so now the wicked is at rest. They have the people of Yasharal under their feet, so to speak, because the people of Yasharal were disobedient, and so Yahuah went to war against his people. And so they conquered the people of Yasharal, and now they feel quite content. They feel quite rested. All is going well, and they feel like they're in total control. So this is what Yahuah through his servant is revealing to his prophet. Verse 13, and Yahuah answered the messenger who talked to me good words, comforting words. And the messenger who spoke with me said to me, Proclaim, saying, Thus says Yahuah Zabaoth, I have been jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with great jealousy. Okay, so yes, I went to war against them, but you know what? I've been feeling some jealousy over them because I don't like the way that the heathen is treating them. Therefore, thus said Yahuah, I shall return to Jerusalem with compassion. I shall return to my people with compassion. Okay? My house shall be built in it, declares Yahuah Zabaoth, and a surveyor's line be stretched out over Jerusalem. So I will return to my people. My house shall be built in it. So from an historical perspective, when Yahuah was getting ready to deliver the people out of the captivity of Babylon, he also gave favor and made it possible for the house to be rebuilt, because the priesthood had to be set back in place. The sacrifices had to be put back in place for the redemption of the people. That's how the people were redeemed. So here is the answer to that question right here in the text. We're getting the answer to how the people were redeemed. Those people who went into captivity. So to those people who call Yahuah's sacrifice human sacrifice, which it wasn't. It was Yahuah offering up himself. But to that question, here is the answer as to how those people were redeemed. It's right here in the text. Therefore, thus said Yahuah, I shall return to Jerusalem with compassion. My house shall be built. My house shall be built in it. And it did take place, declares Yahuah Zabaoth. And a surveyor's line be stretched out over Jerusalem, meaning I will reestablish the boundaries. I will rebuild the walls. And that did take place. The surveyor's line being stretched out is talking about the rebuilding of the wall. Okay, family? So remember now, we talked a little bit earlier about, I'd asked the question, when the people were in captivity, for example, the Babylonian captivity, and Yahuah was getting ready to deliver them, what was the first thing that he did? And what he did was he gave the word to his prophet, and showed favor, so that the walls would be rebuilt and the Haykal would be rebuilt and be rededicated. And what happened when you read the book of Atzarah? What happened was, as Yahuah got ready to deliver his people, right? The Haykal was reestablished, and the reading of the Torah, they would read the Torah day and night. The people would come and they would stand in the center of the city to hear the reading of the Torah and to learn or to relearn what they had forgotten about Yahuah's expectation for them. That's what took place, and that's how they were redeemed, right? Now, so he says, the line would be stretched out over Jerusalem. Again proclaim, saying, Thus says Yahuah Zabaoth, again my cities shall overflow with goodness. And Yahuah shall again comfort Zion, and shall again choose Jerusalem. So now Yahuah ain't going to war. He says that the day is coming when I'm not now going to go to war against them, but I'm going to go to war for them. It's still Yahuah Zabaoth speaking. And I lifted up my eyes and looked and saw 4 horns. And I said to the messenger who was speaking to me, what are these? And he said to me, these are the horns that have scattered Yehudah, Yashar'al, and Jerusalem. Okay, give me just a second, family.
Thank you. I'm sorry,
Okay,
sir.
no problem.
Thank you.
All right. I'm sorry, family. I had a knock on the door. I had to respond to the neighbor. Had some packages that I picked up for him from the door last night. Okay. All right. And I said to the messenger who was speaking to me, what are these? And he said to me, these are the horns that have scattered Yehudah, Yashar'al, and Jerusalem. And Yahuah showed me 4 craftsmen. Okay, so Yahuah showed him 4 horns. Okay, he showed his servant 4 horns. And then now he's showing him 4 craftsmen. So the horns represent the kingdoms that would come against Yashar'al, right? That would come against Yehudah. These are the 4 kings that would come against them and that would scatter them over a period of time. But then he would send 4 craftsmen. And these craftsmen were for the rebuilding of the kingdom. Okay, and they would go against those who have gone against the people of Yahuah. And I said, what are these coming to do? And he spoke, saying, these are the horns that scattered Yehudah, so that no one lifted up his head. But these come to trouble them, to throw down the horns of the Gentiles that lifted up their horn against the land of Yehudah, to scatter it. So the 4 craftsmen are coming to war against those who warred against the people of Yahuah. Okay? Now, oh, by the way, let me go back before I go further. Because there's a very important verse here, and I don't remember if I just read it, but Yahuah spoke here of, let me go back. My thing is really acting up. But he spoke here about how when he was angry with his people, but then the wicked took it too far. Okay? I think I read it out. I think I read it just now. Let's see. Bear with me just for a second, because it's in here somewhere. This is Yahuah explaining. And oftentimes people ask this question as far as our suffering. You know, sometimes we look at how the wicked treat the people of Yahuah. And some people might say, well, it is Yahuah's will for them to treat us that way. No, not to that extent. And here in chapter 1 it speaks about it. I'm trying to find it. I thought where is it at here again? Okay, look like I've lost my lost Zoom again. Wow. Having a tough time with this. Okay, I've lost Zoom again here, family, and I don't know. I lost Zoom again, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue. Hopefully the family on Zoom can join YouTube or Facebook Live, But I'm going to continue with this because I've lost Zoom. Okay, so let me just continue. Let me pull up YouTube. My internet connection is acting up quite a bit, it seems. Yeah, see, my internet connection is acting up. Family on YouTube, if you can hear me, let me know by putting a 1, putting up a 1. Okay, Key Franklin just posted to the key. Wow, my connection is really acting up. Having a tough time. No. Okay, so verse 15 is what I was trying to find. And I am very angry with the nations who are at ease. For when I was a little angry, they furthered the evil. Okay, so this is what always happens. Yahuah gives them an inch against his people, and they take a yard. Okay, so Yahuah says, now I'm going to deal with them as a result of that. Now we're going into chapter 2 of the book of Zakaryahu. And I lifted up my eyes and looked and saw a man with a measuring line in his hand. And I said, where are you going? And he said to me, to measure Jerusalem, to see what is its width and what is its length. And see, the messenger who was speaking to me was going out, and another messenger was coming out to meet him. And he said to him, run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem is to remain unwalled, because of the many men and livestock in it. For I myself am to her, declares Yahuah, a wall of fire all around, and for esteem I am in her midst. Oh, and flee from the land of the north, declares Yahuah, for I have scattered you like the 4 winds of Shamayim, declares Yahuah. O Zion, escape, you who dwell with the daughter of Babal. For thus says Yahuah Zabaoth, for the sake of esteem he sent me to the Gentiles which plunder you. For he who touches you touches the apple of my eye. Okay, so this is Yahuah declaring war against those who have plundered his people. But not only that, family, we talked earlier about the fact that Yahuah's prophecies, that they're twofold, right? That here, even here in the book of Zakaryahu, that it speaks of the present time as well as it speaks of a future time. Now, what it's telling us here in chapter 2 is that Yahuah has a vision for his people and for his land where there will be no boundaries. The day is going to come when there is no boundary, right? That Yahuah himself will be the defense. That Yahuah himself will be a wall to the city. Now, this did not happen in this regathering, in the regathering of them from the Babylonian captivity, the 70-year captivity. It did not happen then, okay? But it will happen in the final regathering. So again, evidence of the twofold nature of the prophecy, right? So he says, for thus says Yahuah in verse 8, for the sake of esteem he sent me to the Gentiles which plunder you. For he who touches you touches the apple of my eye. For look, I am waving my hand against them, and they shall become spoil for their servants. And you shall know that Yahuah Zabaoth has sent me. So this messenger of war that Yahuah sent, servant of war, is going now against the nations. And the messenger, we're looking at the messenger, but who is the messenger? The messenger is Yahuah Zabaoth, okay? Who goes to war against the nations that have fought against the people. Okay, so this is Yahuah, again, Yahuah, the Most High Yahuah, sending himself as servant for his people. But in this case, as a warring servant. Because remember, you go back to chapter 1 of Zakaryahu. Zakaryahu is actually speaking to the messenger. The messenger of Yahuah. And what is the name of the messenger of Yahuah? The name of the messenger of Yahuah there is Yahuah Zabaut. Okay? So he's speaking to the warring attribute of Yahuah. He's speaking to the warring attribute of Yahuah. Family, it is my hope that you are you're still hearing me. I seem to be having a hard time staying connected. Hold on. Not so sure if I'm still connected. I'm trying to figure that out, so bear with me. Don't look like I am either. Wow. Having a real tough time here today. Okay. I'm having a pretty tough time, Mashyach. I want to apologize for that. This is not working. Okay. All right, this isn't working. Bear with me, family. I'm gonna have to stop the broadcast. I don't know if you're hearing me or not on YouTube, but I'm